Hey guys, my name is Sonny Parlin, and I was asked to do this by Dave Johnson. He's the guy who runs masculineidentity.us, and Dave's an old friend of mine, and we've been keeping in touch with each other over the years, on Facebook and all that. Um, Dave has been sort of watching my progress. I know I've been watching his because Dave is a very, very successful guy, and it was cool when he approached me about making this video. I'll try not to make it too boring, but basically my story is maybe some people might find it interesting because I started off as an overweight software engineer, and now I'm running a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu academy. And, yeah, so I've had quite the shift in goals, as you can probably imagine. But I met Dave Johnson. We were both working at RSA Data Security, which is when I first got started as a software engineer, or was trying to get started as a software engineer. And I met Dave, who was really, really good already. He was at the time doing some C programming, and I really admired how good Dave was at programming. So I latched on to him because I wanted to do software. So we kind of became fast friends. He taught me a lot of stuff, and eventually that's when he got, Dave started getting his stuff in gear, and he did some consulting work, I think, outside of RSA, which gave him some, I think, initial funding to get his real business started, which was the transferring money to the cards, basically the commissary for college kids, which I thought was just brilliant, and that's how Dave got his initial success. And so again, Dave kind of went his way, I went mine, and over the course of my career, I've had quite a few software jobs, and I really like software engineering. I like the idea of solving problems, especially complex problems that require algorithms, because it's challenging and it gets you to think, and I found that stuff quite fun. The stuff I didn't like about corporate America or about software jobs was corporate America and having to deal with people who I would just assume remove their head from their body than to actually sit there and have a conversation with them. And unfortunately, when you work in corporate America, you're forced to you have no choice. You have a boss, you have co-workers, you have to live in that world, and you have to play by those rules, and obviously you can't be a barbarian and take people's heads off. So, I really disliked the corporate culture, org charts, company starts to fail, so what do? They reorganize, and it's like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic and stuff. It just got to me, and I was also in some small companies too, and a lot of small companies where people would try to harvest your talents for this promise of riches to come. And so you end up working, these crazy hours, and, of course, the riches don't come. And everybody has an awesome idea that they want you to code for them. They have an app idea that they want you to make for them. And, just that whole thing, it just really, really started to get to me. And over the course of time, I started taking Brazilian Jiu Jitsu back in 2007. And I immediately fell in love with it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you've never heard of something called Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, it's a martial art. I would highly suggest you check it out, look it up. It changed my life. I was 270 pounds going in at 34 years old. Now I'm 43. Everyone tells me that I don't look 43, and I appreciate that. I hope they're not lying to me. But I definitely look better. I feel better. I'm an athlete now, and my job is to train. I teach people how to train, how to fight, and that's pretty much all I do. I love what I do. I especially love when I can teach police or military. In fact, I'm doing in 2 days, I'm doing a seminar at my school for law enforcement to teach them the basics of ground fighting. And I love doing this. I'm my own boss. I don't have to take, obviously my clients are my bosses. My students are really my bosses. But, the reality of it is I set my own hours, I set my own prices, I set my own schedule. Well, that's kind of the same thing as setting your own hours. But, the bottom line is I have a lot of say in what goes on. I have the final say in everything that goes on. And I do love running a business. I just made it through my first year, which was a big milestone. And I guess that's kind of my story in a nutshell. And I hope somebody gets some inspiration out of this. I think probably the moral is that if you don't like what you're doing, you don't have to be doing it. You're not a tree. You can move. You can do something else. And as long as you don't care about failure, and as long as you don't, as long as you're someone who's willing to try things and take risks, then you can basically do whatever you want in this world. So that's my inspirational message for the day. And Dave, I'm sorry it took me so long to get this done, and I really wish that I had more time and resources to make something a lot better for you, because you deserve it. You're awesome. And that is all. So thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.